Good morning, Rima.
Good morning.
You are wearing a white shirt today.
Yes. And two
I,
hours ago, I was wearing black shirt today, and I hope it doesn't reflect the way I think.
but what it, I hope not. But what it does remind me of is black and white thinking and how important it is for us not to fall into the trap of binary thinking. There was a really interesting workshop that we did for one of our clients where they were concerned, they were trying to encourage people to be more creative and innovative. And they realized that unless people embraced what is called failure or what's called a mistake or an error, no
Mm.
one was going to risk, saying something and being told they're wrong or that it doesn't work. Remember that workshop? So black and white thinking is really a pretty risky thing because it gets us into traps of I'm right and you're wrong. And it makes it really, really hard for people to accept the fact that we could both be right or we could both be wrong. And therefore, the answer isn't as clear cut as that. And most things don't have these answers.
Correct. And if I don't agree with you, this doesn't mean that you become a bad person that I need to stop talking with, and your opinions are bad, and you have the wrong perspective of the world.
Of course,
We're seeing that more often.
that black and white thinking, of course, immediately discounts a lot of things that other people say because if you need to be right, if you want to confirm using your own confirmation bias that you're right, you're going to find fault with or dismiss things that other people say so that you can be right and feel good about yourself. Unfortunately, that's not a dialogue and that doesn't solve anything. It only creates greater polarization and people being on one side or the other. And that's very, in my opinion, that's a very primitive approach to human thought and human intelligence. In fact, it's an insult to our intelligence to think in terms of black and white. The wisdom is truly in the gray, understanding the nuances, understanding that there are differences and fine shades of meaning that we need to pay attention to.
And who decides the rightness of something? Who decides that this is right? And who decides that this is wrong?
I think that's the wrong question because the minute you begin to think like this, you're asking for a definitive answer. And it's not. We don't necessarily have to go to right and wrong. Does it work? Does it give the results I want? Will it help me solve this problem? It's not about right and wrong. It's about does it work? And I think by shifting the thinking to a more productive questions like what am I trying to do, and will this enable me to get it? Do I understand that other person? What are they trying to say? If I think black and white, I automatically don't listen because all I'm looking for is ways to prove that they're wrong and I'm right. So you can't have a relationship with that black and white mentality.
Mrs. Fair, by naturally, humans tend to be, they like to be right. It satisfies their ego to be right, right? So, shifting that mentality towards the wisdom is in the gray is a lot of effort. And how can we help someone? How can we help organizations do that shift, even on an organizational level, not on just an individual level?
I think the first thing is to begin to become aware of yourself, self-awareness, and becoming conscious of what you think and why you think those things and what are you basing it on. And also looking at the other people that you interact with. Who are they? Trying to understand them and their different perspectives on the world and realizing that that is something enriching. And that's what we do when we look at, business emotional intelligence, having people A, understand themselves, and B, understand other people and develop the capabilities of managing themselves, managing the relationship with others, so we can actually find solutions, find better ways of doing things by having better relationships and better support for one another rather than black and white. Black and white has never really got us to anything constructive. It's pretty destructive because you don't see space for you and somebody else to both be right.